gentlemen, namaste and a very warm welcome to all of you to the Blub World Web Talks 164th episode. In the last 163 episodes, we have talked to, interacted with nearly 3,000 plus school leaders from all across the world, where they have shared their ideas, opinions, innovations, and what all new are they doing in the education space. तो आज आप सभी का स्वागत है 164वें एपिसोड में। इससे पहले 163 एपिसोड में हम लोग करीबन 3000 से ज्यादा स्कूल प्रिंसिपल से बातचीत कर चुके, जिनसे हमने जानने की कोशिश की कि शिक्षा कैसे बदल रही है और वो इसे कैसे बदल रहे हैं। सो आज जो अगले 60 मिनट हमारे पास में है, हम आप लोगों से जानने की कोशिश करेंगे ऑन वन मोर एस्पेक्ट ऑफ एजुकेशन, विच इज बॉडी इमेज। कि हमारी बॉडी इमेज, बच्चों की बॉडी इमेज, एंड व्हाट डू वी लुक एट द वे वी लुक एट पीपल ऑल अराउंड अस, and how do we create their body images, and how does it concern us mentally, psychologically, physically, and most importantly, how does it influence relationships? क्योंकि बचपन से जब हम बॉडी इमेज या तो नेगेटिव जोन में होती है या पॉजिटिव जोन में होती है, क्योंकि बैलेंस्ड किसी की नहीं होती, तो क्या हम ये शिक्षा का कहीं ना कहीं कोई ध्येय है? Is it in some way the target or the objective of education that we build positive body images? Or is it not? So let's try to talk about, is child obesity caused by bad parenting? But before I get into the topic, just to give you an idea of the platform, the Blub World Web Talks is a bilingual platform, so you can use either English or Hindi, any of these two languages in your complete conversation. Try sticking to these two. If you want, you can use a third one, but I won't get it. So try sticking to these two. Most importantly, Blub World Web Talks is a speaking sprint. It's not a speaking marathon. So once your speaking time is over, you might get muted. If you get muted, please don't get offended. It is just to finish the activity on time and keep it engaging and crisp for everyone else. So thank you so much once again for joining in. A very warm welcome to all of you to the 164th episode. Let's now talk about, is child obesity caused by bad parenting? क्या बच्चे का मोटा या पतला होना उसके माँ बाप की जिम्मेदारी है? क्या उनकी गलती है? क्या उनकी गलती नहीं है? या क्या है? ये जानने की कोशिश करते हैं हमारे एजुकेशन एक्सपर्ट से. What do they think on the body images that students build while they're in the classroom? Now to start this conversation, as we normally do, हम मेजरली पूरे कॉन्वर्सेशन में स्कूल लीडर्स से बात कर रहे होंगे, लेकिन उसके पहले let's have a perspective from the higher education space. What do they think on this, and what's their idea of the kind of teens that they get within their institutions on their body images? A very warm welcome to the first speaker for today, Professor Dr. Mohammad Asif Pasha, the Director Admissions and Marketing for CMR University, Bengaluru, Karnataka. Mohammad ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio, and a very warm welcome.
Thank you. Namaskar, Daksh. Thank you. Good evening, all respected, eminent education fraternity. It's been a great pleasure to interact with you through this platform, Blub World. I thank the Blub World management for giving the opportunity to interact with all the eminent people across the globe. And with my rich experience of 30 years in this country, transforming the universities and international schools and other colleges as well, particularly in the aspect of teaching, promotions, branding, and brand building, admissions, marketing, placements, overall scenario of the academics, particularly from scratch to the excel of the university or the colleges or schools, international schools particularly. I worked across the country. In India particularly, I got the opportunities across 5 continents of the world. But due to my parents, I could not able to move from India. That is because of my mother is 98 years old. Just a brief introduction. I don't want to bore you because that gives me the energy to talk to you, because the parents are the living gods. My mother is almost 98 years old now. I sacrificed my career for my father and mother. My father lived for 110 years, and now he was no more, and my mother is there with me. I sacrificed my career, entire career, to lost so many opportunities across the globe. Not only India, you take all the 4-5 continents of the world. So thanks, Blub World, for recognizing my expertise. And as you said, the topic related today, the issue is that, is the obesity because of the parents? Absolutely. I believe that the parents who are the parent before 15-20 years, the parents after 20 years is vast. There is a vast difference, or huge difference, before when you see the 20 years back, 2000 or 21. That is what I observed. At the same time, the parents, particularly who are, I mean, the obesity for these children is a serious cause now, and it is a worrying situation across the globe, not only in India. Particularly coming to the aspect of Indian scenario, where the parents are the key elements to transform the children's life, whether they can become a Satya Nadella or Sundar Pichai, or I mean, now the live example is Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Chaiwala has become the Prime Minister, and Abdul Kalam ji, the paper boy, was our president. That is a big, I mean, the transformation where the child, the parenting has transformed to that level, the 60% of the highest parts of the life. So what I believe is that the parents are the most important people in the every child's life to build their career. Because I am seeing so many parents coming in the university or when coming to us and interacting with us, sir, my son wanted to become engineer or wanted to become, I mean, he wanted to do a management degree, but he won't listen to us. He won't this one. And at the same time, he will be liking, I mean, like, for example, he will be at the age of 16, 17 years, he'll be looking like 30, 31 years old because of the obesity or the personality, the outer personality. If you see that, I will be astonishing. Are you a father? He is your father. I asked that question to some parents even they offended, sir, no, he is my son, sir. But he seems to be that because of the obesity or because of the what unhealthy habits which the parents give an opportunity to them are sitting ideally, not doing anything, sitting in the, I mean, watching the televisions. I mean, watching now the students are playing the PUBG and other games, and he cannot come in. He's not. They are not coming out of the rooms as well. Particularly in these 2 years of the Corona lockdown.
Thank you so much, Asif sir. The first 3 minutes were over. We'll again come back to you during the open session. But I think you gave an amazing start to the discussion when you told about this typical scenario that you face when the student comes for the admission, that is he the father or is he the child? Identifying the student becomes a challenge. And we can, quite seemingly think of this as a humorous situation. But at the same time, this points out a very simple thing or a very simple idea, that the responsibility or the onus of that obesity that the child carries falls on the parent. Do you think that's the right kind of idea, thought process that we are trying to nurture or tell during this complete talk? Or do you think the child also has a responsibility? And if we think from the perspective of the institutions or the institutions or the people getting involved in the life of that student or that parent, is the responsibility shared there as well? And most importantly, again, back to the question, is bad parenting the only cause of child obesity? Just rephrasing it to put the stress in the right places, let me have now the amazing school leaders to talk to us on how do they think child obesity is influenced by parenting. So a very warm welcome, Ms. Lalita Sareen, Initiative Director for Mount Litera Z Schools from Jamshedpur, Jharkhand. Lalita ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio and a very warm welcome.
Eating too much or, remarking, मेरा बेटा कितना पतला हो गया है, कुछ खाता ही नहीं, बीमार है. So these are typical Indian perspective of looking at the child. So if a child is roly-poly, he's definitely being, fed by the parents, and it's good parenting in terms of diet. And nowadays, our diet also, it's very easy for the child to have, fast food. It's very easy for the mother to give him money for fast food because both the parents are working. So it's easier to get food from outside, which is definitely not very good for our health. And so that becomes a habit with the child. He starts hating food which is cooked at home. So that's one problem. And then, of course, as was remarked, that they are so addicted to TV and computers that they don't even have an inclination to go out and play outdoor games. I'm hoping that with our sports person winning those medals at the recent Olympics will inspire students to go out and take up some game and become health freaks. It's too late when they realize that, they should have done something about their figure or their diet or their health, because this is the only game where you win if you lose. So, so that's it. And I'm sorry for the way my background may be I'm very, very disheveled because I'm shifting house, so I'm in between my shifts. But it's remarkable and amazing to be with you all.
Thank you so much, Lata ma'am. And I think you ended it with a very nice sentence that it's a game with which you win only when you lose. So when we talk of, and I think you added a very different perspective to the discussion, that we are not talking about the kind of community planning that we do. Do we have those kind of open spaces? Do we give students the right kind of opportunities to go out, to play around? Are we encouraging them in the most obvious ways? Are we building playgrounds? Are we giving spaces in the communities that we plan? Are we, making big open spaces for discussions, for play, for theater, for dance, drama, for everything? Are we really creating those kind of spaces within the community? So I think one more stakeholder came into the complete discussion, the governments, the establishment, that how do they play their role in this scenario that where we are talking about is child obesity only based on bad parenting. So let me invite the next speaker for today, Mrs. Romita Sharma, the principal of Birla Open Minds International School from Ghaziabad, Uttar Pradesh. Romita ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio and a very warm welcome.
Good evening, everyone, and namaskar. It's a very relevant topic where we want to speak about obesity amongst the students. I don't blame only the parents who are responsible. Like the previous speakers have already said it, that the environment also matters around. It's one of the biggest reasons for the obesity. We usually forget that right now, earlier, the families were big, neutral families were not there. Joint families were there. Students were having time and a place to play around with them. They could have a person to even, express their feelings around with others. Right now, they don't have. Right now, students are going through the emotional stress also. They don't have anybody. They only have screen time, like what ma'am has said earlier. They don't have play time. So it's not only parents are responsible, it's the scenario which is changing exactly is being responsible. Yes, somewhat out the eating habits are to be promoted by the parents within the family. If we right from, we like chubby kids, you see the kids, you said is very chubby and he's very lean kids is there. People have a very clear perspective. They like very chubby kids when he's a child. But gradually when the child grows, people start saying your child is very fat, you know. So that is also one perspective. Parents have to take care about it. Fast food, yes, it's growing, it's growing very rapidly. Like ma'am said, parents are working. They easily give parents money to the parents, your kids, you go and eat something. But somehow we should promote the child at home also, that should go for fireless cooking also, so that they can have, they can cook something healthy also at home. We should give them the nutritional value of it. Then only things will be changing. Parents or even the caretakers, even the schools are, responsible, because we give them the fruit time in our school. Regular fruit time is there in the morning after assembly. It is compulsory. If teachers check the lunch boxes regularly, if there is Maggie and bread or sandwiches only, we give them in writing to the parents that you can send only once in a week. So it's now a reflection of both the schools and the parents together to fight the obesity. This is what I wanted to say about it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Non-fire cooking, telling them about fruits, policing their tiffins, monitoring in a different way so that people have built healthy habits. And I think the simple perceptive change that we have as a community, as Indians, we want a chubby child, but a lean teenager. So that's a transition that's, quite unnatural rather. And we have to change the perceptions of the people who perceive this, because at the end of the day, this perception, once it changes, I think the community will start changing. So it's more about educating the person who's looking, or rather is being judgmental about the complete scenario. So thank you so much, Romita ma'am. Let me invite the next speaker for today, Dr. Suchitra Bhattacharya, the principal of Manav Rachna International School from Charn Road, Delhi, NCR. Suchitra ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes. A very warm welcome.
Good evening from New Delhi, and love to be on such wonderful platforms. Many a times I've come up, and Daksh, you're doing an excellent job. It's so many, 164 episodes is not a joke. And frankly speaking, such discussions are actually helping a lot. Like we have so much of current issues like climate change, and this is such a wonderful topic. Here, I would have a little, not exactly different, but a little varied opinion, I would say, because here there's no blame game. We need to understand the problem and therefore address it. I think that is what you intend to do through this discussion. Uh, we're not talking about the pandemic where we are only restricting to screen time. Obesity, if we talk in general, yes, is increasing. Baby fat is generally appreciated. However, for me, blaming the parents, I will not totally agree to it. My opinion is a little different. These days, parents are very conscious. They are so conscious that the evening classes are there for tennis and golf and everything, because parents are too much enthusiastic to ensure that the children shine up well. And in progressive school like ours, I think parents, before they come to give the admission, they see what all sports facilities we have. What are the dance club? Do we have a Zumba session? So it is not that parents are not conscious. Yes, definitely parents are conscious. But as school leaders, as school teachers, oblique parents, we also need to ensure, because when a child is small, we have to develop that healthy habit of food. That is something which my other panelists also agreed. Now another thing that is coming up is lots of medication is also giving obesity. Lots of blood sugar level is there so much in small children. There is so much of diabetic children coming up. So all these things matters. Ultimately, at the end of the day, sedentary life will have to be overlooked. Like Ajkal, even myself, with my daughter, I go for running in the evening. So I think such practices, whether in school or at home, should be encouraged so that the obesity goes. Because with obesity, the children lose self-esteem and the children come out under depression also. And it does affect the academics too. So we all need to work together, and such discussions will definitely be an eye-opener to many who have not given a thought, and we will be able to solve the issue. We need to address it. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much, Suchitra ma'am. Let's not blame the parent only. The complete ecosystem is responsible in some or the other way. And most importantly, building habits that give him a sustainable life that's what's important. The parent has to come in as an active player in the complete stakeholder ecosystem, because he's the one who finally inspires and he's the one who the child emulates. So he has to make himself the role model. You cannot expect the society to give you all the role models. You cannot expect the school to keep building role models. The parent has to be the role model. He has to find more and more ways of engaging more meaningfully. Thank you so much, Suchitra ma'am. Let me invite the next speaker for today, Dr. Madhumati Kadam, the Director and Principal of E-Innovation School from Pune, Maharashtra. Ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes. A very warm welcome.
Thank you, sir. First of all, thank you, Blub Web Talks World, who gave us this opportunity. And our today's topic is obesity about the children. I like to share my view. It's not 100% parents are responsible for this. Sometimes the heredity comes from parents. The heredity in children, if the come from parents, they can't do anything. And yeah, the lifestyle, parent can change the lifestyle of eating. If they change the habit, then only children will change. If the parent will eat some fast food and they will give the fruits to the children, they will never eat. Here there is a mistake. Sometimes the parents choose the shortcuts, like they give lollipop. Once they eat lollipop or some chocolate, they are full of the tummy. After that, they don't want to eat anything and they are not hungry. So this is the reason where the children are obesity. And sometimes it comes to the I suggest parents to please choose the substitute foods. Instead of giving the maida and all, they can provide them wheat and something jowar, nachni, like this food they can provide them. And so many substitute foods are there, but still the parents are using shortcuts. But this is not good for their children. And the main thing is the cycling. I said that running is the habit of the children, but here for the cycling, there is no space in our building. So many times the children, if they are doing the cycling regularly, they get proper exercise. The cycling is the best exercise for the kids. And really it helps to improve their proper intestines, hunger, and all things. Whatever ma'am said, कि like other things, अभी जो food market में available है, purchase that and eat it. So I suggest to the schools also, they don't allow to the parents to give the Maggie and all. We are taking initiative. As a principal, we are also not allowed any type of fast food in the school. Children only have to bring the sabji and roti. So they can start eating sabji roti from the school, from the morning. After this, they can, after they are going to home, if the parents are not keeping anything at home, if they are not keeping biscuits, chocolates at home, from where they can eat, no? That is the main thing. If we are giving them availability, they will definitely eat all things. And it's up to
Thank you so much, Madhumati ma'am. And yes, I think you gave two important points to the complete discussion, that heredity and genetics is something that we cannot manage. This is something that comes with the bloodline. You can't help it. And secondly, sugar rush, holding on to sugar. As Indian parents, we do not do that. We do not know that. We are very happy in giving children the kind of dopamine rush that they get from all the Diwali sweets and all the festivities that keep happening in the Indian communities. So we need to understand that sugar is something that really creates a lot of challenge when you're handling diet of children and teenagers. Because once they get that dopamine rush, they don't want to eat a lot of other stuff. So we need to be choosy about what kind of sugars are you giving them. Is it fruit sugar? Is it artificial sugar? What kind of sugar are you actually giving them? And finally, healthier grains. Everybody right now is talking about new types and forms of grains that we consume so that body remains good in the long run. Thank you so much, ma'am. Let me invite the next speaker for today, Mrs. Indu Sharma, the principal of Sundardeep World School from Ghaziabad, UP. Indu ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute your audio and a very warm welcome.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Am I audible? Okay. Good evening, everybody. It's a wonderful forum. And thank you, Daksh, once again for inviting me to your this online meet where we are able to express our views. Sorry, there was some technical issue. I was traveling. I was stuck somewhere. Let me share it. I had a bad dental problem, so it couldn't be sorry. I won't take much time because Daksha mutes you when your time is over. So I missed out most of the things which other panelists spoke about. But my point of view, good parenting or obesity is the child obesity caused by bad parenting. First of all, what is good parenting? What is bad parenting? When a child is born, every parent ensures good food, nutrition, shelter, education, values to each and every child. Now, when it becomes good, and what is the parameter or definition of bad parenting? There is no underlying definition for that. Yes, we call some kind of parenting as bad parenting when the parents start pampering the children a lot. They start agreeing to all their demands and fulfilling all their demands irrespective of the logic behind it. So that becomes somewhere, as per the society, a parameter or a definition of bad parenting. But is that really a bad parenting? No, it's their own style of bringing up their own child. Obesity, coming to child obesity, there are many reasons for it. Yes, bad food habits, not having good food, bad food habits, and sedentary lifestyle, the child not going for physical activity. It may be hereditary, it may be hormonal. How much parents are responsible for that? Major issue is the atmosphere at home. What do they eat? Are they too much into fried? And that is one thing. But again, that is not bad parenting. That's their own lifestyle. Every culture, every religion, and every caste has their own way of eating. But mostly this problem has been seen in working parents, where mothers also go out to work. They have long working hours, and the children take a shortcut towards junk food. They don't eat the nutritious food which mother or the cook might have cooked. And also due to improper supervision, the child may not be able to go out to play in the playfield area. So that is the busyness of the parents. which is making the child obese, as per my point of view. The mothers don't have time, and by the time they come back in the evening, they are too tired to take their child. So we can't actually call that bad parenting. It's a busy parenting, I think, one of the major cause of obesity in children. But having said that, I'll also like to emphasize that parents cannot get away with the responsibility of having a healthy child, because once it's their responsibility to.
Thank you so much, Indu ma'am. The 3 minutes were over. You typically added, I think, a good perspective to discussion, which is talking about our eating habits based on the communities that we come from, with the kind of beliefs that we have and the kind of eating habits that we have, because children emulate that. अगर हम बहुत ज़्यादा तला हुआ खा रहे हैं तो बच्चे भी वही खाएंगे, उसी तरीके की food habits build करेंगे. And if we want to counter that, the only way to counter that is that the parent transforms himself or herself. Only then the child could see some form of transformation. But उसके अंदर एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज ये आ जाता है कि हर बार पेरेंट उतना फ्री नहीं होता, तो बैड पेरेंटिंग की जगह बिजी पेरेंटिंग को कहीं ना कहीं हम लोग विलन बना रहे हैं. सो क्या वो बिजी पेरेंटिंग सही है? Is it something that's we have accepted it, that's for sure, but do you think that's something that can continue or that needs some form of reform? Because this is something that also needs to be discussed, that if you're a parent, then does your responsibility change? Does it go more towards the child? Does it go more towards your profession? Or where does it typically take you? Thank you so much, ma'am. Let me invite the next speaker for today. We'll come to Suchitra, ma'am. Mr. Vipul Gnawa, the principal of Jai International School from Rajkot, Gujarat. Vipul ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Gujarati नाश्ते famous हैं. हम लोग वहाँ की habits को बहुत अच्छे से जानते हैं. तो गुजरात में किस तरीके का आपको क्या लगता है, क्या बैड पेरेंटिंग है इस सब तरीके के खाने के पीछे और बच्चों के मोटापे के पीछे?
Thank you very much, sir. I am from the city Rajkot, where it is said that I don't think anybody is cooking food on Sunday evening, but everybody, my colleagues, highlighted very nicely that most of the parents, they don't want to do bad parenting. Their intentions are good, and everybody wants their child to be fit and fine physically and mentally. But somewhere, because of lack of knowledge, it is happening. So what I believe strongly, once it happened that my daughter, she is 4-year-old, and she observed me once and said that, Mama, I want my tummy like a daddy, not like you. Okay, so as ma'am rightly said, I think we need to be role model for our child. That is the first and very important thing. And somewhere what I believe, the parent, most of the parents that I know, they don't have a appropriate knowledge about the parenting. So actually they are not at fault. And so far the school's responsibility was to educate the child, okay, to nurture the child in all the ways. But now I think school's responsibility role is changing very fast. And I strongly believe that not only student, but we have equal responsibility for the parents as well. So we should try to, arrange few sessions of the parenting also, on obesity also. Even we should plan the fitness session for the parents. It's all about creating the environment, and that environment cannot be created only within the school. It should be created at each and every home. So I think school counselors can play an important role. Even dietitians in the school can play a very important role. And if we all try, and along with this, in my school, I generally invite my students to join certain applications like Steps at Go, where we all can see each other's steps daily. So this is how technology also we can use to I think motivate each other. And instead of, as ma'am said, instead of blaming each other, okay, we should take this responsibility on our shoulder to have a proper parenting guidance to all the parents, and to create the environment for the students, not only under the Fit India or health and physical education guideline by the CBSE, but if we all will try, then we can avoid the problems that generally students are facing right now. It is not only physical, it is mental also, somewhere it is psychological also. And as ma'am highlighted that because of the negligence, students are not getting love, affection that they should get from the parents. And because of that, somewhere, to increase the dopamine, as sir said rightly, they try to get it from the fast food and the processed food. And that is the one of the main reason. And somewhere, as one of my colleagues said, that our most of the, intention are, for the skill development, that is more mental, not the physical. So we are engaging our children into such activities. where their mental development would be more than the physical, but we know very well that both is equally important simultaneously. So this is what from my side. Thank you very much for inviting. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Jakul ji. And you're very right in saying कि कहीं ना कहीं टेक्नोलॉजी से कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस बना लीजिए, एक दूसरे के स्टेप्स देख के लड़ लीजिए, लेकिन स्टेप्स पूरे कर लीजिए. And you have to be healthy at the end of the day, because this is so simple that आप जैसे हैं as a parent, बच्चे के लिए वही रोल मॉडल है. If you have a tummy, the child might also want a tummy, because उसे वही लगता है कि वो परफेक्ट बॉडी टाइप वही है जो मेरे घर में है, जिनको मैं दिन में 24 घंटा देखता हूँ. Because he also builds a perception of things the way he sees them. And most importantly, when we talk of, जो एक बहुत important point आया था बीच में, कि हम लोग हमारी community eating habits को adopt करते हैं, and उसके बाद उनको बदलने में हम उतने agile नहीं होते. एक बार अगर वो ईटिंग हैबिट बन गई तो फिर वो हमेशा के लिए हमारे साथ रह जाती है. जबकि आई थिंक ह्यूमंस नीड टू इवॉल्व अ लॉट विद देयर ईटिंग हैबिट्स इफ दे रियली वांट टू स्टे हेल्दी एंड फिट in the coming times. Let me invite the next speaker for today, Mr. Naresh Sharma, the Assistant Principal of Delhi Public School from Balotra, Rajasthan. Naresh ji, over to you for the next 3 minutes. A very warm welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Blub World teams, also to give me the chance to talk about this major topic, and that exercise and family factors also, and also the most thing is the psychologist factors that child will be increase our overweight system, and there are also the socio-economic factors and is there do this types of child's overweight system, right? And high cholesterol and high blood pressure is there. So these main issues is solve out the main parents is there, and also the our educated leaders is there. As one of the educators told that meditations is the made मतलब बहुत अच्छा पार्ट है, जिसके बेस पे बच्चों को हम लोग अब उसकी डाइट्स को कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं. एंड सेकंड थिंग, देयर आर द वी ऑल आर द मोटिवेटर्स. बच्चों को मोटिवेशंस किया जा सकता है कि किस लेवल में हम लोगों को डाइट मजबूत करनी है, अपनी किस लेवल को हम लोग अपना डाइट्स को सुटेबल बना सकते हैं, right? And also set good examples बना सकते हैं कि make healthy eating, regular physical activities, and family awareness. Everyone will benefit and no one will feel single out. And healthy snacks available like without butter, fruits, they वो हम लोग healthy environment दे सकते हैं, right? And also new food multiple times, like discourage, don't be discouraged if your child doesn't immediately like a new food. उनको motivations, उनको live examples देख के भी हम लोग उसको मोटापन को दूर किया जा सकता है, बच्चों को कंट्रोल किया जा सकता है. एंड देयर आर सम गिवन सम अवार्ड्स आल्सो, ताकि बच्चा मोटिवेट हो सके कि हम लोगों को कुछ ऐसी न्यू क्रिएटिविटी आई है, हम लोगों को पता चला है कि हम लोगों की डाइट्स में कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स आ रही है, हम लोग मोटे हो रहे हैं, हम लोग हम लोगों की मजाक उड़ाई जा रही है, तो उसको भी हम लोग बच्चों को अवेयरनेस दे सकते हैं कि किस तरह से हम लोग इस सिस्टम को बना सकते हैं, इस पूरे एटमॉस्फेयर को बना सकते हैं, राइट? एंड बी श्योर दैट बच्चों को एक इनफ स्लीप दें, आराम से उसको सोने का मौका दें, बिकॉज यू नो दैट 8 hours इज द लॉन्ग पीरियड्स अबाउट द चाइल्ड एजुकेशन सिस्टम इज देयर. दैट मैं मेरे चाइल्ड्स की बात कर लूं तो अभी 8 घंटे वो ऑनलाइन क्लासेस में बिजी था, एंड डाइट बैलेंस इज वेरी बैड सिस्टम, एंड वो धीरे धीरे मोटापन उसको आ रहा है. तो एज ए पेरेंट्स वी गिव द बेटर फूड, एंड एज आल्सो एज ए पेरेंट्स आई गिव द मॉर्निंग मिल्क एंड देन हेल्थी ब्रेकफास्ट, एंड देन एंड आफ्टर दैट उसको 4 उसकी डाइट इतनी रहे कि उसको कोई और फिजिकली प्रॉब्लम्स ना हो, right? And last things that meditations is the major portion, that yoga is the best. उसकी जो डाइट है उसको अभी से अगर कंट्रोल कर दिया जाए तो ब्लड शुगर्स एंड अदर फिजिकली प्रॉब्लम्स को दूर किया जा सकता है, राइट? सो थैंक यू सो मच, एंड थैंक यू.
थैंक यू सो मच नरेश जी. यस, आप ये कहीं ना कहीं आप सही कह रहे हैं कि भाई डाइट को आप कंट्रोल कीजिए. अगर बच्चा कुछ और खाने का एकदम आप नया कुछ ट्राई कराते हैं, वो एक्सपेरिमेंट करने को तैयार नहीं, तो कुछ थोड़े मॉड्यूलेशंस दीजिए, थोड़ी चीजें बदल के उसे दीजिए ताकि वो एक्सपेरिमेंट करने को राजी रहे. बिकॉज I just want to share something that I read some days back in a book, जहां बड़ा आसानी से उन्होंने एक चीज कही कि ह्यूमन डाइट जो है, अगर आप ह्यूमन एवोल्यूशन को स्टडी करेंगे तो ह्यूमंस हमेशा से गैदरर्स रहे हैं, हंटर्स नहीं रहे हैं। हंटर्स हम बहुत बाद में बने, शुरुआत में हमें जो मिलता था हम वो उठा उठा के वो खाने वाली रेस थे हम लोग, और उसी वजह से हमने टूल्स बनाने शुरू किए। क्योंकि जब एक आपको एक प्रे मिलता था कि जिसको एक शेर ने मार दिया, तो उसके बाद एक पूरी फूड चेन उसे कंज्यूम करती थी। ह्यूमंस को लास्ट में एक्सेस मिलता था उसका, इसी वजह से हमने कुछ टूल्स बनाने शुरू किए कि हमें मीट या प्रोटीन का जो एक्सेस है वो जल्दी मिलना शुरू हो। एज अ ह्यूमन रेस और एज अ बायोलॉजिकल बीइंग हम लोग हमेशा से गैदरर्स रहे हैं, हंटर्स नहीं, तो इसलिए हमारी डाइट में बहुत बड़ी वैरायटी की आवश्यकता है। So now we've actually listened to all the speakers for once कि उनके क्या-क्या thoughts थे, that is child obesity really an outcome of only bad parenting, या उसमें कौन-कौन से aspects हैं। The next 3 to 4 minutes is an open floor. अगर आप म्यूट हो गए थे, कोई ऐसी चीज थी जो आप ऐड करना चाहते हैं, कुछ ऐसा था जो आप भूल गए हैं, तो अभी is the time when you can just put your hand up, I'll invite you, and आप उस अपने पॉइंट को ऐड कर दीजिए ताकि ये टॉक ऐसी हो कि इसमें कुछ मिस ना हो, और कोई ऐसा एस्पेक्ट अगर मिस हो गया हो तो उसे अभी आप कवर कर पाए। So anybody who wants to speak next? I think Suchitra ma'am wanted to say something. So ma'am, over to you.
In fact, that was another question that you had asked. I would say, once again, it's a big problem that is there, and we need to take the responsibility as school heads. We need to ensure that we have practices, and as others also said, we need to not only educate our children, but also, if required, maybe discuss with their parents. I wouldn't say educate the parents; they are all educated ones. However, definitely we can discuss with the parents what is to be done, and definitely be an example. And just a one-liner, I will request others also to butt in. But as you said, what should working mothers do? Our parents have taught us that we should be independent. We are teaching our children to be independent. So working ladies will never be a problem. We just need to find a solution to it. That's it from my side.
Absolutely. So busy parenting is not the challenge. It's somewhere the other way, bad parenting. जितना समय है उसको आप कितना अच्छे से इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं, शायद उस utilization के अंदर is what the secret lies. Lalita ma'am wanted to add something. Ma'am, over to you. Please unmute yourself.
I think one of the reasons for obesity is boredom. Children don't have enough, activities or diversions from their daily routine, or parents or whosoever is not spending enough fun time with them to keep them engaged. And as adults also, if we are bored, we tend to eat whatever we can lay our hands on. And the consumerist society, you have Swiggy and Zomato at your fingertips, and you have sales gimmicks, buy one, get two free, or something like that. All that becomes very attractive to the entire family, that, we'll order and we'll get more than what, and we can rest. No doubt everybody needs to rest, but there are latchkey parents and latchkey kids. There is always a way out, and there are healthier options to the so-called fast food that is the order of the day. The other thing, we can have a healthy time where the entire family gets together and plays a game outdoors, and that will keep everybody fit. Why just the child? Everybody needs to be fit, and you have to make them follow. You can't say, "Acha, tum jaake khel lo, main ghar mein baitha hu." Let's all play together for 1 hour or so, whichever game. You can keep changing the game. And this happened to me when I was dealing with some of my students, and they said, "Ma'am, it's very easy for you to say, but I have taken on badminton for the last 20 years, and I played from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, and nobody can take me away from there." I made bahanas like I have a meeting if, today is a different day altogether. But after that, during the pandemic, because you couldn't go out to play, I bought a bicycle, and I went cycling. So my students would see that if she can do it at her age, I'm sure we can do it. And I keep encouraging parents that please have a healthy time for your family, where you go out and you play games, or you just have a walk with your fast, brisk walk. You can compete. I can walk faster than you, and let's see who comes first, and things like that. That would encourage everybody. And I think we need a healthier society, not just healthier students.
I think the way we eat together, we must also be playing together. एक play time हर एक को घर में भी और स्कूल में भी कहीं ना कहीं पेरेंट्स के साथ में तय कर लेना चाहिए, rather it should become a part of our lifestyle कि हम कहीं ना कहीं वो movement, वो body को जो strain चाहिए, वो strain उसे दिन भर में दे दें. Indu ma'am wanted to say something. Over to Indu ma'am.
Daksha, I was planning to continue from where you left about human beings being gatherer, not hunter. One of the doctors once told me, I'm sharing this thought, maybe it's right or wrong, how right, how correct it is, I don't know, that we are also basically animals. And we all are tuned, our bodies are tuned to eat the food which is not supposed to be cooked. So whatever is raw, that has to be eaten. So the theory is anything which needs to be cooked is not good for the health. The more time of food item or anything we are wanting to eat, the more time it takes to get cooked, the more harmful it is for our body. So as a non-veg or even in vegetarians, there are a lot of delicacies which take a lot of time for cooking. So they those dishes take that much time to get digested in the body and accepted by the body. And yes, I was muted little earlier before I could wind up about my busy moms and other things. So my point intent there, I wanted to say in the end was that parents cannot get away with the responsibility of the health and fitness of the children. So moving towards their career, they have to ensure that their children get healthy diet at home. I'm a working mother for last 27 years. And anytime I can show you the photographs of my children, they are very slim, trim, and well maintained. So that is just one escapism that busy mothers, but we all as mothers, basically mothers, they are the kitchen bearers of the homes. We all have to ensure that the quality of food cooked is good, and what the children eat entire day, not only children, the family eats, it has to be monitored and taken care of. Pizzas are not bad if taken very moderately. Puri alus are not bad if taken moderately. We have to eat everything, but in a moderation to ensure that we all are healthy. We all are healthy. When the parents are healthy, they encourage children to become healthy. So the whole idea is that in spite of being working or busy, it's a complete family's responsibility about the health of each other, taking care of the health of each one of us. Thank you.
I think the point got reinforced that working mothers or the busy parenting is not the challenge. It's in or some or the other way, the bad parenting. We have to find more and more ways to, feed children with things that benefit them rather than just that titillate their tongue through the taste and the post that they enjoy. So Romita, I wanted to say something. Ma'am, over to you.
Daksh, I want to, continue one thing for it, that after the lockdown, when we had a meeting or a conversation with the parents, one thing we came across that all the parents complained that the kids are busy playing with the games, and that time they want to have their lunch, or they are playing and they are munching. So that is one, again, a healthy eating habits have been displayed. And when they said, ma'am, now you talk to the parent child and then you tell him that don't eat food while playing, again, they ask the teachers to guide us. Then I told her that, like, you are there, complete family is there. Why don't you have your lunch or dinner together? Like Indu ma'am has said, collective, when whole family is involved, when you are sitting on the table, it can be there, kids can have a choice, but we can have it. We should not promote the child. You see in the families, mothers, it's not about working mothers or the mothers who are at home, because they are also working even if they are home, so they are busy for the whole family. It's all the, nowadays we see, usually we give them the gadgets. You play around, don't bother us, we are talking on the phone, you play there. So that step, it's not about bad parenting, like ma'am Indu ma'am has said. It's not about bad parenting or good parenting. It's the parenting style which is bothering nowadays. And yes, even at our home also, we see to it, but sit together and have our dinner. Or if it's a holiday, we have a lunch also. We play game. Still, we play Ludo and chess with our kids. Both kids are working. But still we play with all whole family members, sit, play carom and whole. So that thing, your involvement in the family has to be increased by the parents only. Schools are responsible, but to a certain level.
Absolutely. Schools are responsible to a certain level. Parents को बहुत ज़्यादा समय साथ में गुजारने की ज़रूरत है. कोई ना कोई आप ऐसे mechanisms घर में build करें कि जहाँ पे आप खा भी साथ रहे हो, खेल भी साथ रहे हो. Now, before we go to the conclusion of it, let's go to Asif साहब, who initiated the roundtable for his closing thoughts. And I think आपके लिए एक interesting सा question है मेरे पास. You have had a centenarian in your home. आपके father 110 साल तक इतनी लंबी लाइफ जी पाए, इतने प्रॉस्परसली जी पाए. सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक दैट वी कैन लर्न फ्रॉम दैट सेंटिनेरियन? क्योंकि अभी दुनिया भर के अंदर द ब्लू जोन्स की जहां पे सेंटिनेरियंस हैं, उनकी लाइफस्टाइल को कॉपी करने की बहुत कोशिश की जा रही है. दैट्स द न्यू फैड, एंड आई थिंक वो फैड के साथ में अब जरूरत भी हो गई है. सो व्हाट्स देयर टू लर्न फ्रॉम योर फादर व्हेन वी आल्सो वांट टू बी अ सेंटिनेरियन इन द फ्यूचर? ओवर टू आसिफ साहब.
Thank you, Mr. Daksh. Actually, my opinion is that, I mean, in this aspect particularly, that the parents give us the heritage and culture. And at the same time, the government should also involve and imbibe some some act in the aspect of, for example, we are conducting the parent-teacher meeting in the school level. Every school in the country and the world conducts the parent-teacher meeting. When we only talk about the curriculum or the student, the progress of the students, particularly how they are performing. But at the same time, we are not talking about even the principals or the vice principal or HOD or whoever the concerns, correspondents are not able to talk directly to the parent that your child is becoming fat or becoming outraised or outsized. That if we, directly the school can draft a policy where every parent should give an information that your child should be this much and in this age, in this class, particularly, and to reach this height particularly. And even the height that is okay. But coming to the aspect of outer shape of the obesity, where the school should develop a policy and give the principles that your child should come up in this particular aspect where we will guide you, or you should take this diet, or ask them to play for 1 more hour after once they reach the home. Because nowadays we are living in the concrete jungles where we don't have, even we live in the flat where we don't have the ample space where my son can go and play. Because now when we have the colony, but the vehicles are ramming out there, we could not able to, but only the facilities are available in the school. Even some schools and colleges which are running in the buildings, which are running in the steep buildings where the people could not able to play or build their physics particularly. That's what I request the all the fraternity over here, but all are eminent principals over here, that you should design a policy in the parent-teacher meeting that you should inform the parent that your child should be in this age, and at this age he should be like this, but he is coming out of it. One-to-one case, you can discuss with the parents, one-to-one case. This is my humble suggestion to all the fraternity over here, intellectual fraternity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Asif Saab. And yes, with the marks that we discuss, with the teaching strategies that we discuss, with the seats that we share with them, let's start talking BMI. Let's get them somebody who talks to them about this is the kind of weight that you should be having. Respect all body types. Don't intrude, but I think it's time that we influence. इंट्रूजन भले ही ना हो, आप उतना ज्यादा हर एक किसी जीवन में ना घुसे, उसके बॉडी टाइप पे कमेंट ना करें, लेकिन इन्फ्लुएंस करना तो शायद कहीं ना कहीं शुरू करना होगा. नाउ बिफोर दिस कॉल कम्स टू एन एंड, जैसा हम हर ब्लब वर्ल्ड वेब टॉक्स में करते हैं, ब्लब वर्क्स ऑन अ सिंपल आइडिया ऑफ टीन्स इंस्पायरिंग टीन्स. हम हर महीने ऐसा एक टीनेजर ढूंढते हैं जिसकी स्टोरी बहुत सारे टीनेजर से शेयर की जा सके, सो दैट दे कैन लर्न फ्रॉम हिम. सो वन सच स्टोरी फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू टुडे. This is a story that comes from our own Haryana in India. It's about a student who started to play a game which did not have the right kind of facilities. जहां वो अपने गांव के अंदर उसके लिए कोई सुविधाएं नहीं थी वो गेम सीखने की. बट एक NRI इंडिया वापस आ गया, उसने एक छोटी सी वो गेम खेलने की फैसिलिटी बनाई. वो गेम खेलना उस बच्चे ने वहां पे शुरू किया और वो फैसिलिटी बंद हो गई. बट वो गेम उसके साथ रह गया और वो गेम उसके साथ इतना अच्छा रहा और इतना बढ़िया हुआ that he became the international junior golf champion. And that's Shubham Jaglan from Haryana, India, whom we call the golf gladiator. जो ऐसे गांव से आया जहां पे बेसिक कबड्डी खेलने की जगह नहीं थी और वहां पे उसे थोड़ी सी गोल्फ की फैसिलिटी क्या मिली, उसने उसे अपना करियर बना लिया या जीवन बना लिया. And that's what we simply do every month, finding teens who are doing amazingly well in life and share their stories with many more teenagers. Today, with this talk, I would like to invite all of you to be a part of the World Teen Parliament, जहां हम दुनिया के सबसे influential, सबसे ज़्यादा inspiring बच्चों को एक साथ इकट्ठा करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं ताकि वो दुनिया को अपने हिसाब से बदल सकें. I hope you enjoyed the last 60 minutes. If you did, and if you want to attend the future sessions, you can unmute your audio, say a big yes, and thank you so much for being a part of the Blub World Web Talks 164th edition. Have an amazing evening ahead, people. Namaste.